It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is proving to be historic indeed for BKFC's 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the turn, right hand from my boy, double champion. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in. This is In Game Live Prime Time here on Sports Grid. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid, and you're going to learn a thing or two over the next couple hours. Adam Kaufman hanging in with Dave Sharapan, the sports book consigliere, who, of course, you know, there is so much going on, Dave, that we need to hit on, from baseball. Football's back, even if it's fake football. It's football. Preseason football starting here momentarily. We got Olympic basketball. We got Olympic everything going on. I mean, everything short of like cornhole happening. We're going to hit on all of it, but I'll tell you what. I wasn't originally, I feel like I'm in Clerks. I'm not even supposed to be here today. I wasn't originally on the schedule, and I got the call. Our producer, Jack, reached out, and he was like, hey, man, we got this scheduling issue. Are you available to hop on tonight, 8 to 10? And I was like, I mean, who am I with? He goes, Sharapan. I said, oh, you don't even need to finish the sentence. Of course. Right. Of course I'm hanging out with Sharapan 8 to 10. How are you, bud?
Great to see you. And, yes, thanks for answering the call in the bullpen. You know, I just found out, too. I got a text like, hey, hold on. What do we do? Well, we call Kaufman. We'll be fine. We got 2 hours of it is football. I mean, they're in the uniforms. It's Bears, it's Texans. It's a really low total. It's a spread that went from one opener to two there on the graphic to touch three in some books out here in Vegas, 32.5. And yeah, this game usually goes under. A lot of people in the space have under. I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, I wore the Cubs stuff because I don't have no Bears stuff. I mean, I have Bears hats and things like that, and I have Texans hats. But we also have baseball. I mean, you know, we'll have that. St. Louis and the Cubs, really good matchup tonight with Gray and Imanaga. So we'll have that going on. How have for you, how have the Olympics been? Is that a viewing thing at the Kaufman household? Like, do the kids like it? Do you like it? How do you feel about the Olympics, sir?
So I am probably personally a little bit more into watching the basketball, be it men's or women's, and I'm talking the 5-on-5. I haven't really gotten into the 3-on-3. I bet it a little bit, but it's really me tailing people who are smarter in the space than I am when it comes to those specific events. I haven't seen too much in the way of like the swimming or archery or volleyball or all. I mean, there are just so many different events, obviously. I mean, you see the headlines and what either Simone Biles has done and continues to do, and the video or the picture going around, the the GOAT silver necklace she's got there. Katie Ledecky continuing to take the world quite literally by storm. And, really narrowing the gap and watching Team USA thriving on the court, both men and the women. It's been a lot of fun. So it's kind of always on in the background and that sort of thing. And I know there was golf overnight getting that started, and we'll be able to touch on that. And if there's any way or any angles that we might think about betting this now in quote unquote tournament, if you will. I know it's all part of the Paris Olympics, but we'll have time. We'll do a lot of Olympics. I think before this football game starts, and I know that it's easy to say that really the highest or lowest, depending on your perspective, form of degeneracy, Dave, is betting on preseason anything. But I think people are so excited to have football back that there's data out there. There are numbers. We have Eric Lindquist from OddsShopper and Stochastic coming up a little bit later on in this hour. A colleague of his and a friend of mine, Dave Loughran, does a lot of football coverage over there, does a great job. And he tweeted out, and you can see, I won't read the whole thing. It's a long tweet. He's at Lofty_D on Twitter. Put a lot of information out relating to this game. If you are thinking about betting it, and I have personally bet this game because football's back, how do I not? And I want to throw some of this data out there. We know the Bears are not playing any of their starters. The Texans are playing few, if any, as well. And so the quarterback play, you're talking Davis Mills, Case Keenum on the Houston side, and, on maybe a little Tim Boyle late. On the other side, Tyson Bagent and Brett Rippon are going to be out there. Rookie Austin Reed may get an opportunity as well. So if you're tuning in looking for, CJ Stroud, or you're looking for Caleb Williams, get ready to see them in street clothes on the sidelines. That's the best you're going to get. You're not going to see them doing anything meaningful in this game. Maybe someone will put on a headset and try and give a little bit of advice. But Matt Eberflus, who is the head coach of the Bears, 4-2 in the preseason, small sample, even smaller sample, half in fact. DeMeco Ryans is 2-1 on the Houston side. But Eberflus, in the 6 preseason games he has coached, these have been the totals. And you mentioned, Dave, 30.5 or even 31.5, depending on where you look for this total tonight. Eberflus in the preseason games he has coached, 40, 41, 45, 33, 48, 41. They have all gone over that number. So even if you are looking at 32.5 in some places, while I have not personally bet the total, I would skew to the over. What I did bet, though, is the Texans money line. And we're looking at a spread that has, sort of varied over the last couple of days between Houston being favored up to as much as 2.5 or so. Mm-hmm. And it's ranged again, depending on the book that you look at. I just think that ultimately, clearly, total coin flip. But if I'm betting money line to the tune of right around -120, if you want to chase the plus money on Chicago, I don't blame you for that. Again, it's preseason. There's no edge really to be found. I just think there's a little bit more talent among the reserves on the Houston side of things, which is why I put a very small wager in that direction.
Very fair. That's all well thought out, good arguments, good information. I can tell you this, that, from doing this on the other side of the counter for decades, the preseason is the bane of the bookmaker's existence because the appetite is there to bet it. And there's guys that live for this. I mean, they will make really strong plays and you will end up going, why did I do how am I going to end up, fixing this or ending up on the wrong side all the time? The information game is right there. And doesn't always come true, but playing the information helps a lot. The quarterback rotation, the coach's motivation. It sounds like, Eberflus has been working on offense or needs to work on defense if the games go over more often than not. But that's good information to know. I mean, people have started off their seasons in the preseason betting on John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. The books haven't been able to make a number that they will not cover. It doesn't matter. Right. So there's certain situations that will lead, people to winning bets over the next month. This Hall of Fame game, though, it is so unique. It is the first one. It's at a neutral site we're celebrating guys like Randy Gradishar and Steve McMichael getting into the Hall of Fame and stuff. The game is just, it's so, I feel like, more random than the other preseason games. So if you're going to bet it, good luck. We'll be watching it. I've done the in-game in a book for this game. And let me tell you, it drives you crazy. This may be a fun ride with me and you for the next 2 hours because we may see a low total of 17 by the time we get off the air. We may see 42, depending on if there's turnovers and different things like that.
We always like to say, I think those of us in the betting community or actually, even take that out, just sports fans, right? You watch these games and like you said, they're hard to handicap, especially this game because everyone, both sides, these two teams involved, they get to camp a week earlier and, they play the extra preseason game and all of it. Oh, it's meaningless. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Well, true. Except for the guys on the field who actually are out there fighting for jobs and fighting for relevancy, fighting for their position in the NFL, whether with these two teams or elsewhere. They're not looking to go to the Arena League or the CFL or wherever else. So it matters to somebody. Bet the over. We'll be back.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing a trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
We're back here on Sports Grid in-game live prime time. Thanks for being with us. If you are watching in the litany of places that you can, of course, view us, if you feel so compelled to see what I look like, see what Dave Sharapan look like. You don't know what Sharapan looks like. You see that man everywhere. But if you are listening across Sports Grid Radio, channel 159, Sirius XM, we greatly appreciate you as well. Football's underway, my man. We are scoreless. It is very early, couple minutes in. Texans and Bears in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. And one thing that we did not talk about in the conversation about how to bet this game, if you felt so compelled to do so, was what it would look like and what football looks like now as we know it. I'm talking about the new kickoff rules. I know that we were both just sort of forgot for a half second, we had to take a beat. It was like, oh, this is what this looks like now. What do you think? How does this impact the return game going forward? How is this going to impact betting, quite frankly, when it comes to these games. Is there any impact?
Well, I'll tell you so seeing it now for the first time executed, it's going to be hard to get a return, but I think you're going to encourage returns. They put a stat up there that said 22% of kickoffs were returned last season. That's the lowest in NFL history. So they need to get something done on the kickoff. If this doesn't work, they're just going to eliminate it, and they're going to put the ball on the 25 or something and say, let's go. If you kick it through the end zone, apparently you get the ball, the offense will get the ball on the 30. So you're encouraged to kick it in this landing zone, which we got to see is from the 20 to the goal line. And no one is running full speed at anybody. They're 5 yards apart. It's blocking, and then we'll see if it goes. Now, how will that impact betting? I initially thought when I read the rule that it would lead to better field position for the offense, which means we might have to adjust the totals as odds makers and bettors. It might lead to more overs. Again, that's the first one that I've seen in action. And now I'm seeing Houston just march the ball right down the field. So I don't know if one is correlated to the other. What do you think so far of what you've seen? Because you have Houston money line, you said, right? This is a very good start for anyone with Houston money line, is it not?
Oh, it's great. Like you said, they're marching along. Davis Mills is, spreading the ball around. Dario Gumbawale is moving rather effortlessly.
Oh,
so again, this is a guy
look at that. Say that guy's name again,
3 for 14. Dario Gumbawale. Oh yeah. I mean, how do you not know him? Please, if anyone who has been playing Madden for the last few years knows who Dario Gumbawale is, I mean, please, this is the kind of name that you dream about. So, yeah, we'll see. Look, but to your point, this is a great start right now. Clearly, teams are fully capable of stalling in the red zone. I mean, that would be very preseason, but hopefully it doesn't happen. They're in field goal range at the very least. And again, if you played the over in this one, just remember that total's so low coming in, it doesn't take much. I mean, depending on where you got the number, a 17-14 game hits the over. This is not what we are used to talking about during the NFL season. I mean, it's like Iowa football kind of numbers. So we'll see what direction it heads in. Again, we're still scoreless about 5 minutes in. Houston's still with the ball. We'll see what the Texans are able to do with it. I do want to talk about games that matter just a smidge more, you might say, Dave, and that's what's happening on the diamond right now. So Cleveland at home on top 6 of Baltimore. It's a 5-2 game right now. I'm on the Cleveland money line, actually, so I'm hoping they just keep on doing what they're doing. The Royals, who I also have on the money line, they were a pretty heavy favorite in this one, up 6-1 in Detroit. That is top 8, so that one is trending in the right direction. If you have the under, it might be a little sweaty, but if it holds where it is right now, that'll hit. I'm on the Braves run line. They're up 4-0 at home against the Marlins at the end of 3. Charlie Morton just pitching a gem right now. One, though, that did bite me, if people are out there listening going, oh, Koff, did you get anything wrong today? Believe me, I got plenty wrong today. And one thing that I got wrong that has already gone final is I had the Nerfy, the no-run first inning in this Cardinals-Cubs game, and I can't tell you, there is no greater enemy to me in the betting space at this point in time, Sharapan, than the solo home run in the first inning. I can't tell you how many times this has bitten me. But what I think is particularly notable, for those out there like me, who is just a complete savage when it comes to betting Nerfies, it's only been one good profitable month if you are someone that likes to I don't bet the board. I mean, that would be crazy. But May was an incredible month if you played the Nerfy. I mean, there were some days out there you're getting like 13-3, 14-2. It was like, oh my God, the Nerfy's never going to lose again. And then all of a sudden, June was crap. July was crap. And today, the first day of August, if I'm not mistaken, and I know it's just a 5-game slate and we got the one later on between the Rockies and the Angels, but the first 4 games of the day, the Yerfy, the yes run first inning, I think is 4-0, Dave. I think we have had a run in the first inning of each and every one of these games so far. And look, not to be a conspiracy theorist, man, but I got to ask the question. I think Major League Baseball changed the balls. I think baseball did something with the balls here over the summer. It doesn't make any sense. How are we getting Yerfies every single time out when the Nerfy was fairly automatic if you had a good pitching matchup. Now it's not even close. It is Yerfy until the cows come home.
You're right. I just went through and confirmed every game so far today. Yes, there has been a run in the first inning. And yes, I think the weather has something to do with it. As it heats up, there are more runs scored. You really start to see it. Bullpens get gas. So later in games, you're seeing a lot of games that are dead unders until the bullpen gets a hold of it. That's a whole nother story. But this run first inning, no run first inning it's funny to hear you say that because I've heard it before. We have heard that they have changed the baseballs midstream before. I don't think it's far-fetched to say it. Until somebody tells us otherwise, I don't think it's unfair to make that, at least have that question. Touchdown, Texans, by the way. That was a really efficient drive. Kaufman, you're having a hell of a day. If the Nerfy is the only thing you lose, that's fine.
No, I promise you, I lost a number of Olympic women's basketball bets earlier today. I'm playing from behind right now. I need everything to hit tonight just so I can have a green day, my friend. Sherapan, Kaufman, we're hanging out. IGL, prime time.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing a trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Eric Lindquist from Odd Shopper and Stokastic is going to join us in just a little bit, and smorgasbord with that man. He can hit anything that you throw at him. We'll talk a little baseball, talk a little preseason football, some Olympic basketball, maybe even some Olympic golf. Again, he is just you think I'm a degenerate listening to me betting. He is spread thin, man. He's got stuff everywhere. Sherapan, Kaufman. So as you heard just prior to the break, unless you're just joining us now, we're informing you perhaps Houston Texans took half the opening quarter, but a long, methodical, efficient touchdown drive. Davis Mills has put Houston up 7-0 to begin your NFL preseason. And the live total, we said, or at least I said, hop on the over, 30.5, 31.5, even 32.5. The live total is sitting up around 37.5. And so we'll see if that maintains. Obviously, we need the Houston defense to do its job against the Bears because I am on the Houston money line. But more scoring, more Mills, give him another series, more Ogunbowale. Don't take him out. Keep running around. I don't recognize any of these receivers, though, man, on this Houston side. Tegan Quitteriano I assume he's a draft pick, right? I've never heard of this dude. Cade Stover, Ogunbowale had a short catch. Xavier Hutchinson. So again, it's the funny season, man. When it comes to this stuff, don't do as I do. Don't go crazy betting preseason football. It's a losing game more often than not.
Okay.
My mindset, and I don't know about you, but my mindset was simply, it's the first football game of the year, man. How do you not invest just a little, as our buddy Brady Cannon would say, a little hot dog money on it? How do you not put just a little something on this game?
Well, it's not my first football game. That's the thing. And I've seen it from the other side. And I'm like, this is something like, I understand people will come in and they bet it and it's the uniforms and everything. Although the Houston uniforms are not recognizable. They have some swooshy thing on the shoulders and it feels like they changed the colors and everything. But so far their defense looks pretty good, at least to start. The second kickoff result was about the same as the first, resulted in them starting the drive at around the 25, 24-yard line. So, yeah, listen, this is really good if you can get a they got a first down. So we'll get another possession for the Texans. I think if you're, have the Texans money line, a 10-0 lead or a 14-0 lead, and we could kind of relax and focus on the baseball because that – I don't want to say it's insurmountable, but they're not trading scores tonight, like multiple times. I think a 2-score lead in this one, I don't want to say it's a wrap. Nothing is a wrap, but
nothing's a wrap. Don't make me feel that way. I don't want to get cocky about this.
I know. I'm just saying I've seen this before. Caleb's looking great on the sideline. He's got the earpiece in, hearing the play calling. Yeah. When you watch preseason football, what are you looking for? Seriously. Either fantasy stuff, betting stuff. What are you looking for when you watch fantasy or when you watch preseason football?
I'm sure there's a really eloquent answer about what you should be looking at from a betting perspective. I'll be honest, we can ask Lindquist about that. I'm not looking for anything when it comes to that.
That's fair.
I'm just not I'm not buying into certain schemes or setups, play calls, because you're not seeing the right guys out there on the field trying to execute it. It doesn't mean anything to me. You can have Andy Reid over here calling plays. If you and I are on the field, who gives a crap? I want to see the guys out there who are, actionable information to me are the guys that we spend. Now, obviously, the preseason isn't what it used to be, right? Like you had the 4-game preseason. I know these two teams will play 4 games, but it used to be you had the 4-game preseason, and in one of those, maybe even 2 of them, you knew you were going to see the starters for at least half the game, maybe even all the way through in one of them, and it was a true dress rehearsal, and okay, what can we gauge from this? That's not the case anymore. The emphasis, as it should be, quite frankly, for player safety and health and all of that, is on the regular season. Plenty of starters, usually quarterbacks, but a variety of positions, wide receivers, running backs, key players, the guys that teams are heavily invested in monetarily. They don't play in these games because they're not risking it. And soon enough, in a number of years, there's going to be no preseason. It's just going to be training camps and then the 18-game football season in the regular season. And so, these games, I might look for some fantasy stuff from a DFS perspective or a depth, like late round draft pick in terms of, who might be a good injury replacement down the line. But betting wise, I'm not getting anything out of any of this stuff.
Okay.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? So obviously you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
In-game live prime time on Sports Grid with Sharapan Kaufman, and we are not alone for the next couple segments, joined by Eric Lindquist, Odd Shopper and Stokastic, a host and analyst. He brings you on the Odd Shopper YouTube page almost on a nightly basis the Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks video for Major League Baseball. Soon enough, you will see it for football. Basketball right around the corner. The man stays busy. He can talk all of it. I didn't even mention golf. Lindy, how are you, man?
Doing fantastic. So happy to see your face. I miss Scott a little bit here too, but I will say, Adam Kaufman hopping in from the clouds. This is a very, very good day to be alive.
I like to call it a pleasant surprise. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, bringing the
lefty. Right? Yeah, what do we even, like it's... Because we talk, right? That's what we do. We talk. We use it like physically. I mean, everything going on below the neck doesn't matter at all. It's like we're gonna bring in the that guy. Like I don't know what we do, how we signal that. Lindy, did you bet preseason football at all? Because I'm on the Texans money line. They're up 7-0. About 4 minutes left in the opening quarter.
Minus 135. I'm not sure if closing line value counts for preseason football. I just wanted to get my feet wet, and this is what we did. It's closed north of minus 140, so feel like a pretty good situation there. I got minus 125 yesterday. My guy, Xavier Hutchinson. How about a drive for my Iowa State boys? Xavier Hutchinson coming in from the clouds himself, wide receiver for the Houston Texans. Great drive. Daria Gumbawale, just absolute, just a mammoth out there on that first drive. Effortless stuff from Davis Mills and company. Also, need over 77.5 passing yards for Davis Mills. That would be nice.
You prop bet a preseason game. You're the best.
I sure did.
He's out of his mind, but this is what we do, and that's fine. But like I asked Adam last segment, and so this is why I got to ask you, because Adam was very forthright and honest and said, I'm not really looking for anything, but what are you looking for? Because for years on the other side of the counter, I couldn't wait for this month to end. Just give me the regular season games. All the work is done, for the division odds, the conference odds, the season wins. Everything is done for the regular season. But a lot of people can find bets and advantages and stuff in the preseason. What are you looking for, Eric, when you watch this stuff?
So there's two different schools of thought. And I think just coming from a fantasy background first into sports betting, I'm naturally conditioned to be looking at news nonstop. I think paying attention to news and trying to decipher what is good information and what is bad information. I think 2 years ago, Josh Jacobs dropped off of everybody's board. His rushing prop dropped exponentially because he played in the Hall of Fame game out of absolutely nowhere. And then people overreacted. He ended up going in the 5th round, 6th round of drafts, and he was a must-have come, the end of that season. He hit overs on absolutely everything across the board. Yep. And it was just overemphasizing one game, one spot, one dude who ended up starting a game where you would normally have 3rd and 4th stringers be the main thing. So that's one thing I'm paying attention to. The other thing that I think I try to take with, a grain of salt is there anybody athletically who just jumps out on the page? Something that, for me, not seeing Puka Nacua on the field, but seeing him on the practice field last year had me really, really high on him coming into the year, even though nobody really even knew who he was. I don't think there's another Puka Nacua sitting in the wings right now, but those are kind of the main things that I'm paying attention to. Otherwise, I think usage gets a little noisy. I think other people's emphasis is a little noisy, but betting it just comes down to reacting to news and reacting to depth charts. So for me, that becomes a little bit easier for me to set a number, whereas for you, Dave, it is a huge, huge headache.
Worst.
While we've got the Texans and Bears, I do want to ask you about these two teams quickly, not about the preseason or these, this game specifically. What's done is done, right? I hope nobody out there is crazy enough. I said earlier, one of the lowest forms of degeneracy is betting a preseason game in anything. I take that back. Even lower than that is if you were in-game betting this thing and looking for some sort of set it and forget it with these games, man. But these two teams, Lindy, I like them both to win their respective divisions. And quite frankly, Houston, I've really been digging in on lately. And I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence guy. I'm not a big Jaguars guy. Maybe I'm in the minority there. But Houston, especially with what it did in the offseason, bringing in Stephon Diggs, revamping the run game as well, Joe Mixon and CJ Stroud, my word. And the defense in some of the additions they made there, Will Anderson and company, obviously what he did last year, now going into his sophomore year. You could still get this team at plus money to win the division. Is that the move?
I'm not sure about Houston. The Houston part of it is really, really tough for me, purely because I've never been more wrong about a quarterback than what I was about CJ Stroud. And I'll just come out and say it. You watch him on tape, it is incredible to see what he did in his first season in the NFL. I think it's just been maybe a thing in the past where I've just wrote off every Ohio State quarterback who gets to play with outrageous guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. and gets to go Jackson Smith and Jigba and has unbelievable skill position players around them. And it just bolsters them up. And then they get to the NFL and they can't make it work on a bad football team where the skill level isn't as high. CJ Stroud is that dude, but now you're getting him priced in a place where it's just egregious. I can't touch the Bears in their division, talking about their numbers against the Detroit Lions. This is the best offensive line in football, probably the best offensive line we've seen in a couple of years. As long as they stay healthy for Detroit, I think they're going to have no issues moving the football. With Sam Laporta, tight end, and Amon-Ra, short yardage situations there. They have so many sure-handed, secure guys. Offensively, they have juggernauts. There's no way that I'm going to be betting against them in the NFC North.
Got to ask you, because you talked about the information and the battle that this is in the preseason and fantasy standpoint, all of it comes into play. Did you hear the Herbert news and, him being hurt and he's got plantar fasciitis? Like, what does that do for the Chargers? At the beginning of the show, I talked about if he's out 2 weeks of the regular season, that affects the season win number, that affects the division odds, that affects the conference odds, so many things. Is that something that hits your radar where, you might look to make a play or maybe draft somebody different over that information?
It's an interesting spot because Jim Harbaugh coming in, we're going to expect the running game between J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards to kind of be where they're really looking at, emphasizing, establishing the run, if you will. But I'm looking at Justin Herbert. He's a special talent. It hasn't necessarily come to fruition, but you remove Keenan Allen from that offense. I think this is a team that already had a pretty low outlook for 2024. I'm probably not going to be going too crazy on anything because it becomes Easton Stick, who I think is an all right college quarterback coming back from the day, but I think that's going to be their number 2 in line if anything happens to Herbert. I just don't think there's a lot of offensive weaponry. I don't think McConkey is that guy for the Chargers. We'll see what they can get from year 2 of Quinn Johnston. It did not look good in year 1, that is for sure. So I think it's a Chargers team I was already down on. Looked at some numbers for it. Probably not going to end up firing anything from a season win total perspective, but obviously hoping as a guy who married into an Oregon Duck family, very, very much cheering for Justin Herbert because it's required by law for me.
So that being said, I do already have a future on Justin Herbert to go over his passing yards. 3550.5 was the number. Now, obviously, if he does miss any fraction of this season and another Slim Shady is going to have to stand up, yeah, that impacts that number. But I don't know, man. Like, it still feels very reasonable, even if he does miss 2 games and plays in 15. We're still, we're not asking him to clear 4K, 3,500.
Yeah, and I guess my mind always goes to like a 16-game schedule because I've been doing this for years now. And I always have to remember there's one extra game that comes along for the ride. And so when I start breaking it down in my head, I'm like, 3,500 yards. But then, I mean, efficiently what? You're looking at 200 yards a game. That'd be 4,000 if you had 20 games. You're looking just mental math here. I mean, 250 a game from Justin Herbert feels like a low outlook. But I repeat, no Keenan Allen in the slot this time around. That is going to be very difficult to pick up some of those short yardage spots where, I mean, he was as sure-handed as anybody in the NFL last season. The Bears, skill position-wise, going to be in a great spot. But Justin Herbert, you have a little bit more gumption than me. Won't be going anywhere near that one unless, potentially, if there's a foot issue and he starts the season, I'll be looking at an under.
We could touch on a little baseball with Lindy. Definitely Olympic basketball. Team USA back at it tomorrow.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
We have Eric Lindquist here with us. A lot of football talk in the rear view. We are keeping an eye, though, on this preseason game. The Texans continue to lead at 7-0. You'll be happy to know that Lindy got his prop bet on Davis Mills by a wide margin at that, Lindy. He's up around 100 yards, maybe even surpassed that at this point in time. Let's see what the latest is on this game right here. Again, 7-0, 10-0. They hit a field goal. 10-0. I'll tell you what, though. I might be looking dumb on the total unless we get some second half scoring. Good thing I didn't bet it, but 10-0. Houston is on top with about 4 minutes to go in the opening half in this one. And yeah, 102 for Davis Mills. So good news for Lindquist. But let's turn our attention to Olympic basketball for a moment, my friend, because I'm really curious to what degree you have been betting this. Now, Team USA on the men's side, and the women have done great as well. But on the men's side, we have seen now blowout wins of both Serbia and the South Sudan. Next challenge is going to be Puerto Rico. It looks like coming up on Saturday morning, for me anyway, Saturday morning local, but of course it's in the evening in Paris, night before. And this is, this team with these giant spreads, we're looking at 32.5 for this one, another robust total at 188. We've seen that cleared, I think, twice to this point, or in that vicinity through these first two games. But the prop betting has been almost entirely unpredictable because of the way Steve Kerr has managed this lineup. I've seen a number of people play certain guys. They get DNPCD, did not play coach's decision, or other guys that you think are going to start or play certain minutes. They don't. It goes the other way. How are you going after this? Or honestly, are you just staying away and maybe betting on some other countries?
Yeah, so I don't hate the idea of jumping in on the USA side, especially from a prop perspective. We're at least getting clear-cut angles where Jason Tatum didn't play the first game, comes into the starting lineup the second game, and it became pretty clear Joel Embiid was more than likely going to be a rest. There was no situation where I thought he was going to be coming off the bench there, coming off of how bad he looked in that first game. So I ended up on Bam Adebayo stuff across the board. But I went 0-6 the first day of Olympic basketball, brought it back with a 4-1 and 4-2 day. So I've just been treading water, batting 500 basically in Olympic basketball props. I do think this is going to be a spot where we're going to find a lot of value, though, based on starting lineups and which teams are actually going to play for something and which teams aren't. Team USA is probably as clear-cut as it gets. They have a plus 43 point differential right now. There's really no situation where they even lose this game and don't have the number one seed coming out of it. I think Group B is a little bit more interesting with Germany and France playing each other. If you have one of the teams win out right here, I think they're going to play this one pretty straight up. And we've seen Rudy Gobert get benched back-to-back second halves. I think jamming 8.5, 9.5 rebound unders here for him going up against a Germany team that has a number of bigs, but primarily Daniel Tice out on the perimeter taking threes, a number of different bigs that do kind of try to stretch the floor a little bit more. Rudy Gobert has not been successful guarding that here at the international level with this France team. So while it works for him staying at home for the Minnesota Timberwolves, it hasn't worked out as well in French colors. So I'm going to be shorting his rebounds yet again. I think that's probably the first edge I'm really finding for this draw no matter what, because I think that game gets played straight up.
Tell you what, I went and watched. I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning Vegas time and watched Spain play Greece. I was so impressed with Spain. They were 4.5 point dogs. Giannis couldn't do it all himself. They started out with a lead, and then this number intrigues the hell out of me. 10 points for Canada to be favored against what looks like a team that, I mean, they may be older guys and they may have, beards and hair all over the place, but they pass the ball very well and look to fire threes. I thought, well, geez, who are they playing next? I want to take them plus the points. I want to take the over. Am I wrong? Do you see anything in this game?
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong necessarily here. Santi Aldama is kind of a sneaky good basketball player for Spain. He plays for Memphis during the regular season. He's always been a high usage, high fantasy producer, if you will, back for my purposes in the fantasy streets. But there's some interesting guys. Willy Hernan-Gomez finally getting some run out there. I like what you said about them shooting threes as well. Shot 48.4% from three against Greece. That was the main thing that stood out to me trying to handicap this game. They kept Greece really low in terms of efficiency from the three-point line, 12 for 35, but they really get at it on the perimeter there. Both Hernan-Gomez, Gomezai, I think it might be, the plural form, both of them out there defensively, they can help push guys towards the perimeter, and I do think there's some interesting pieces. Garuba hasn't really gotten a ton of run here yet. Abrinas didn't really do a whole heck of a lot here against Greece either, but I think Spain is one of those teams. As much as I like Canada, they were the second odds-on favorites coming into this tournament for a reason. I'm very much behind getting the 10 points and trying to live with the result there.
Hernan Gomai, I think maybe
Hernan
is
Gomai,
what it
you
would
found
be.
it for me.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if Cactus is cacti, Hernan Gomez feels like it should be Hernan Gomai. Is Lopez Lopai? I don't know. There are so many of them. It's hard
These
to
are
tell.
shows with Adam and I. We just go on tangents and we can't stop.
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
what
sorry,
it is.
did you
I
want to
love
talk
it.
betting? No. So, Lindy, in staying in that game for a moment, is Jamal Murray, of course, of the Nuggets fame, a buy low target? I mean, I saw his points prop earlier today at 8.5. I think it's climbed to 10.5 once some people jumped on it. But is that still too low?
I'm waiting for them to ramp him up. I think it's coming sooner rather than later. Jamal Murray, we know his injury history. He also has a lot of mileage on the tires. The last two postseasons, this year was injured coming into the postseason, and then they ended up playing him a full allotment right from the get-go for 2 series before they got knocked out against the Timberwolves. And I think they've just been very cautious with him. I mean, that's one of those things coming into summer basketball that you have to be looking at from an outside in. People don't like to bet their unders, but primarily guys like Jamal Murray, you'd just be feasting if you had been early to the party on that. I just get a little bit worried. The reason I haven't pulled the trigger is that I do think he's fully capable of playing 30, 32 minutes in spots alongside Shea in this starting lineup. And I think that's coming sooner rather than later. At these kind of numbers, I'm just going to be staying away from him.
You got 5 seconds. What about the golf?
Oh, the golf. Oh, just
No, don't do that to him.
Scottie Scheffler,
Lindy, the
3
next
more days, Scottie Scheffler. Go.
Lindy, the next segment's only like 5 minutes. Stay with us. We can get your actual
good, he can
golf
stay.
thoughts, and we'll
Okay.
close out this hour. Now I have 5 seconds to talk to all things Scottie Scheffler. Yes, please. Please, come on, Scotty. I just got you a top 10. That's all I need. Just top 10.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? So obviously you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
There are a great many sports being played out there in the vicinity of Paris, over at the Olympics, obviously, and one of them that just got underway in the early hours of this very morning, golf. We have been waiting and waiting and waiting. It's a short field, just around 60 guys, I believe it is. And as it's been described to me, because I'm not the biggest golf guy in the world, it's basically your top 30 strong, your bottom 30, bunch of dudes you've never heard of. And so there's no surprise that many of the great ones are hanging out near the top of the leaderboard. You have, at this point in time, Hideki Matsuyama, a 2-shot leader. You're looking at it right there. On Xander Schauffele, you have Scotty Scheffler, who is in the mix, obviously, very much so. He is 4 back. In fact, in some places, even still a betting favorite or close to it to come back and win this thing because he is the world's number one. He is still Scotty Scheffler at the end of the day. And, oh, by the way, we are only 1 round through. Eric Lindquist still with us from OddsShopper and Stokastic. Much more of a golf guy than I am. And, Lindy, I don't know how you read day one, what your impact or your thoughts are on day 2, but I do want to shout out Brady Cannon from here at Sports Grid. I was chatting with him last night, and I said, all right, I'm playing around with some stuff, some parlays and how to use boosts and bonuses and that type of thing. And, you know, if I were to pick one guy to be top 10 at obviously very long odds, but again, with the boost, getting it a little bit better, which one is the quote unquote free money? Is it Scotty Scheffler or is it Xander Schauffele? And he said, it's Xander. To me, it's Xander without a doubt because there's less volatility and he has been a cash cow for top 10s this year. And you know what I did? I bet Scotty. So, of course, I'm sitting here with a sweat, whereas Schauffele is sitting there 2 back in the lead. Lindy, what'd you think of day 1?
I thought it was entertaining golf. I mean, obviously, this is the best time of year for people like me who sit around their spreadsheets for 10, 12 hours a day. And we just have sports on the entire day. I'm watching handball. I'm watching Simone Biles gymnastics. I'm watching dressage. I don't even know what I'm watching. But it's nice to have golf and more something that I have a little bit more familiarity with than those other sports to be able to break down. I thought it was a fun, entertaining day of golf. But the one thing that stood out to me is there weren't a lot of drivers being hit. I know the rough isn't as long as what it used to be, and I thought, hey, maybe driver gets put into play a little bit more. I know that there's a lot of forced carry type situations at Le Golf National, but looking at the board, I wouldn't feel so bad about Scotty Scheffler sitting there at 4 under next to Xander Schauffele at 6 under. We have 54 holes of golf coming up here still. We're only a fourth of the way done. You can't win the golf tournament on the first day, but you can certainly lose it. Those are the famous words pretty much every golfer who's ever played it competitively ever. And I think Scotty is just sitting in a really, really good spot. I didn't bet him at the early numbers, but I'm contemplating firing him up considering I have kind of the top of the board scattered with Sepp Straka, somebody that I got a pretty good number on earlier in the week. Colin Morikawa fell by the wayside, somebody that I was basically shorting here. I wanted him to fall outside the top 20, so I got a good start there. I'm feeling good with the beginning of this tournament. And at 4-1, 5-1 on Scotty Scheffler with 54 holes remaining. He's been the best golfer all year long and plays more like an American course than it will any of the link stuff we saw the previous 2 weeks.
Eric, are they going low? Like, is this really like the golf tournament where, I mean, I'm not saying it's like the 3M Open or something like that, but are they, this score, we're getting some birdies the rest of the way, right?
Yeah, we're going to get birdies. It's calm. It's been really good weather there. The greens are pure, too. I think probably one of the most under-talked about things in terms of handicapping and in terms of, I don't want to give out too much stuff, but like green surfaces. Some greens are just easier to make putts on than others for bad putters. I think we're going to see some bad putters. Emiliano Grillo, he's been better in the putting department, but it became a feasting spot because everybody was making 10-footers, and we don't have the normal strokes gain data, and so you have to do it from a little bit of an eyeball test, but also just looking at recent form. I threw out the last 2 weeks because links is not what we are running into here. The greens are much faster, more American-based here, 11, 12 on the stimp. You're not getting the 9s that we had at the Open Championship, and it just seems like everybody is going to be feasting here. You're going to see birdies, and unless the wind kicks up to really bring water into play in a couple of these holes, this thing is going to be sitting at 20, 22 under when it comes to pass.
Is a U.S. guy winning the gold medal?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Unless
Lindy,
Joaquin Niemann wants to ruin my life. Joaquin Niemann, if he wins, that is the 28 days later disaster mode for me.
Shut up so you can start talking again. I want to ask you one more thing. We have 30 seconds. I want to prove to the world that you can talk everything. We have a baseball game, Rockies Angels, starting in a half hour. What's your play?
So it's kind of an interesting one because I don't think anybody wants to run to the window to cash Ryan Feltner tickets, but Ryan Feltner under 2.5 earned runs, DraftKings.com -125. He is going under home road splits. Get out of Coors. Let's go Feltner.
He's prepared for everything. Get him on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. Lindy, thanks, pal.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
It is hour number 2 in-game live prime time here on Sports Grid. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid. Thanks if you're watching or if you are listening on Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, of course, channel 159. We appreciate you. Thanks to Eric Lindquist, Odd Shopper and Stokastic, for talking all things Olympic basketball, NFL preseason, NFL prop betting, a little DFS mixed in there as well. Sprinkled in some baseball at the very end. He was with us for the really the first or last half of that opening hour. So it was a fun time. Always great chatting with Lindy. We have Cam Stewart, the one and only, joining us a little bit later on this hour before Sports Rage with Gabe Morency. And Cam will be on with Gabe, that show following us, of course. But Sharaban and I back here with you, and just to update you on what is going on in this preseason football game. So I had mentioned earlier, and it didn't feel right, but I said it anyway. I was looking at my ESPN scoreboard, and I said, 3 minutes left in this opening half. Man, we got a low total so far. And I think there must have been a glitch. It's since been corrected, but I think there must have been a glitch on the page to where, like hockey, it was counting down as opposed to up. I think maybe at that point we're 3 minutes into the second quarter and not 3 minutes obviously remaining in the half, because it would have been impossible. Right now, they're fully accurate. 6 minutes left in the opening half at the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. And the Houston Texans are on top of the Chicago Bears 10-7. So we are certainly tracking toward the over if you played that. And the Bears with the ball, hoping that they will not get in the way of my Houston Texans money line that day.
It's one of those ones. During the break, I heard Lindy go, "Oh, Rippon's already in, so Bajan is out. Yeah. He's going to probably play the rest of the way." Now, I don't know what the quarterback status is going to be for Houston, and the in-game went up to 37.5. So if you have over 32.5, you probably have a nice middle opportunity. Somebody asked me earlier today, it's not like basketball where we want to get just quantity of points for a middle. If you're trying to bet this stuff, the middle opportunities for in-game lie in getting the best numbers working for you. So over 32.5, under 37.5 would allow you to have 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37 as a middle in a football game where the total closed 32, 32.5, or even 30. That's good. So that's where it's headed. I don't want to say anything is, a lock or anything, but Houston looked for the better team, a little more purpose, and a little more, I don't want to say excitement on defense, but I like the way the Houston defense is playing. And for me, the preseason, I asked Lindy, what do you look for? I'm looking for defense. That's what I like to look for, trying to figure out which teams have depth on defense to help me get through this preseason. Because the defense travels. The defense always tries. Sometimes the offense is just running plays. Like you said, no scheme. We don't want to show you anything. I need to see the defense.
I'm sort of talking out of my backside here when I ask this question because I don't have the numbers, the research to back it up, but I should look it up. I'm only just thinking about it now, but now I'm curious. Aren't these games, and I don't know what the sample size would be, over the last, let's say, handful of years, not like all time, but these preseason games, aren't they generally higher scoring in the second half? Just because obviously the talent is watered down, both sides of the ball. You have, it's just more disorganized, more chaotic, more sloppy, quite frankly, because largely you don't have actual NFL talent out there. You could argue you don't have bona fide NFL talent out there at the start of the game, let alone third and fourth quarters of these games. I bring that up just because, again, I mean, you got to be feeling great about a first half 17 right now, but also what got me thinking about this is, you're sitting here talking about middling with the live line. One, it's a preseason game. I don't care enough to try and invest in a middle, but if I did, I would be hoping that in the final 5 minutes here, you get another score of some sort, field goal or touchdown from the Texans to inflate this in-game total. And then you'll get a much larger middle in the second half where I do think there's going to be more offense. Like, I don't want to bet 37.5 if I think this game is going to wind up in the 40s. You know what I mean?
Correct. And I think two things factor into that, the second halves. One, the turnovers, right? You usually see guys making more mistakes resulting in turnovers, or you see more penalties, right? You have guys making more mistakes. You see offsides all the time. I feel like I've watched preseason games in the second half where there's been a holding call every other play, and any advancement would result in going backwards because of the penalty. So I think you might have more opportunities to score more points, but a lot of times you'll see mistakes in the red zone, turnovers, penalties, and things like that. Bad special teams result in what should be a good theory and more points scored in the second half, not actually getting in the end zone. So I think the thinking is right. And, we could probably get a guy like Lindy to do some sort of research on first half, second half, last 10 years, preseason scoring. I don't know. It might be closer than you think, but the thought is right. The second half should have more scoring, more points, but it doesn't always work out that way.
No, for sure. I mean, look, if everyone were good at this, everyone would do it. We'd all be rich and retired and all of that. So some of this is you hate to use the word luck in gambling, obviously, but some of this is just sort of, playing the odds, playing the percentages, and playing against real life. This isn't a video game. And so you just hope everything cooperates with the logic. And then, ultimately it's a nice green day, as I like to say. But circling back to the Olympics, is there, we're at that weird point where, I'm scanning the books. Jack, by all means, please correct me if I'm wrong. There's not a whole lot going on live right now. It's a lot of, looking ahead to tomorrow. I'm not sure there's anything going on live, given obviously the time over there at the moment. And so Anything for first thing in the morning or overnight that you've already jumped in on, Dave?
No, I kind of take a back seat a lot of times looking at the Olympic stuff other than the team sports like the basketball. The soccer was a little bit intriguing. Not that I made any plays on it, but like I used to be so diehard with the baseball and the softball, and they took them out. So like taking out a sport that I the last Olympics was tremendously profitable for me because I knew all the players and the lines just weren't right. I was doing my own numbers and I'm like, how in the hell are they going to get 7 runs in this game? They're going to get 1 or 2 off of this pitcher, and they're going to get maybe 2 or 3 off of this pitcher. So, like, I was seeing totals of 7 in a 7-inning game, and it was 5. So, to answer your question, no. I like to watch it without action, like water polo, one of those sports that I really enjoy watching. Team handball. There's different things that I wouldn't even know how to make a number for it. So is there a sport or something, an event in the Olympics and the Summer Olympics that would be like an Adam Kaufman guilty pleasure that you just like to watch? I mean, don't tell me you're like
if that were an Olympic sport, cornhole. Yeah, I would be glued to it. I wouldn't be able to get enough of it. Oh, you don't watch the cornhole championships when ESPN televises those? It is electric. These dudes and women, everybody involved. And by the way, like to be a professional, I've looked into this. To be a professional cornhole player, one, you can turn pro at like 11 years old. You don't even need to be, like a high school or a college. I mean, if you are good enough, you simply need to sign up basically, and then to start winning tournaments, and you work your way up the leaderboard, and you become nationally ranked and all of that stuff. The trick shots that these people do, it is absurd. Just like throwing it into the hole just to get your 3 points, that's effortless. The question is, can they flip it in such a way where they're hopping bags and knocking yours off the board? We could do this forever, Dave.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Texans continue to lead the Bears 10-7. 2-minute warning of the opening half. Hall of Fame game out in Canton, Ohio. Texans with the ball and looking for more points before the break. I am hoping that they do so as someone who has invested in the Houston money line. So we'll see if that ends up happening. As far as checking out the baseball board, and it's a short one, just 5-game slate today, 1 game already in the books. The Royals, who were right around minus 160 favorites, so considerable favorites, but not like the minus 230s and stuff that we've seen out there of late this week with, some utter dominations in terms of, the money line and how do you even play it. You invest in the run line. Well, I'll tell you what, if you play the Royals at the money line, good bet. If you played them on the run line, that was a plus money situation for you. 7-1 winners in Detroit tonight. So they take care of business, and an important win, obviously, for KC sitting at 61-49. Other games going on. Cleveland is 3 outs away from finishing off the Orioles. That was a basically minus money on both sides of that, right around even money. Whichever way you went, I happen to be on Cleveland. I'm glad it's on the verge of working out. 10-3 is the score right now. The Guardians are in front. This one is a bit sweaty for me as someone on the Braves run line. It's a 4-2 game, top 7 in Atlanta. Marlins have, of course, the 1 in this inning, and they have 2 men on right now with 2 out. So need the Braves to get out of this jam. The other game, this is tight right now. Cardinals-Cubs 1-1, bottom 5. So certainly a good in-game opportunity to invest if you feel strongly about one side or the other. But if you were on the total, you missed out on betting the under in this one, at least to this point in time. Rockies-Angels still coming up. That one starts in about 20 minutes. It's going to be Feltner, who Lindy was talking about before. He is 1-10 this year with an ERA of 5 against Carson Fulmer on the other side. 0-2, touchdown Texans, by the way.
Yes,
so
sir.
That's what we were talking about with that potential wider middle. We'll see what the live total is after the extra point. But Fulmer against Feltner in that one. Do you have any leans, any thoughts on this Rockies-Angels matchup?
Over. That's the first thought. Just don't try to pick the winner. It's really tough. You saw a crazy game last night where, it was really low scoring. It was really high scoring the night before. This one feels like over. A lot of times I tell people, don't overthink it. Just you see the ERAs. What are you going to try to pick who's going to win this crazy game? Maybe first 5 over, get to the starters, and, get an early bedtime. You don't have to sweat this thing all the way out. The Cleveland side was right tonight. You're right. The Gray-Imanaga game, that's an under pregame. That might be an under right now. Still. I got 5.5 here at this book, and I'm thinking the final score of this game is going to be 3-2 as long as we don't get extra innings. That's the tie game through 5. You go, okay, please, they both score again, and it's 2-2, and it goes to extras, and you got to start sweating under 7.5 or 8, whatever you had pregame. So I don't know. It's one of those ones. Do you like betting in-game baseball, sir? Is it something that you like to do? I mean, I love it. I don't like it. I love it when I'm really watching a game and you can kind of see things. But, man, it'll give you that pain in your chest, where you're like, why did I do this sometimes?
I might jump on the in-game money line. I will not jump on in-game totals. And I understand what you're saying if you feel like you have a feel for the pitching matchup. I just think, one, bullpens are so unpredictable and erratic. And second to that, just the volatility in baseball. I've said this, I don't know how many times. I'm sure I've said it across various Sports Grid programming. There is no sport that will turn you into a cash out person faster than betting Major League Baseball because of the volatility that exists in this game. I mean, the number of times over the last couple of years that I have lost a bet in the 8th or 9th inning that I was well on my way to hitting because of a bullpen, and it can swing both ways. I get it. You can win those bets too. But I guarantee if I went back and I looked at all my bet slips, I have lost more than I have won on account of breakdowns. Even I do bet a lot of totals, pregame totals. And, if I'm the number, yesterday, there were 2 situations where I bet under 8.5. And both of those games I lost because 9 runs were scored because either 1 or 2 runs were scored in the 8th or 9th innings.
Yeah.
It's just it's so annoying every single time. And I don't know why I do it to myself. I don't know why I keep going. As a fan, and I know you feel the same way, I love the sport of baseball. I love it. As a bettor, I wish I could control myself because I absolutely hate baseball and I can't wait until it goes away about this time every single year.
Yeah. I used to have like a nice head of hair like you, but then I had kids and I bet baseball and it's gone. That's it. I keep it tight, high and tight. And
Kids, another thing that'll turn you into a cash out guy.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, we never had cash out. There's only really one book here that even offers the cash out option. You have to kind of sometimes bet yourself out of positions and bet yourself into other positions. And sometimes that doesn't lead to the right thing to do either. Cash out is I'm not a fan of it because I don't feel like you get the full value of what you should.
Sure.
But I totally understand. You know what? Just get me out of here. I don't want to watch the 7th or the 8th or the 9th inning because of the stress. I'm good. You want to talk about stress right now? The in-game total for the football game is 40.5, and the Bears are driving down with less than a minute to go. They're going to get at least a field goal attempt. This has been an absolute dream. If you have over 31 or 31.5 or 32, be shocking, Adam, if this doesn't go over. There it is, touchdown. You got a Bears touchdown. So it's 17, 13.
Hope you didn't jump on that 37.5. You're going to need to middle again.
Yeah, no chance. Now, cash out. Done. Don't worry about it.
No,
you're going to finish. First half is going to finish with 31 points. There you go.
So
Perfect.
if you played the over 30.5, listen, I know we say it all the time. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid. We opened the show by telling you, bet the over in this game. I care more about the Texans' money line, though, if I'm being perfectly honest. We'll be back. More.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The LIV Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first LIV Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
In-game live primetime on Sports Grid. Sharapan, Kaufman. We got Cam Stewart coming up in just a little while as well, and we may not get a word in edgewise at that point in time. You know how it works with Cam. You just throw in a little something. You pull the string, and he's off and running, man. It's one of my favorite parts of the day whenever I get to talk to Cam. So we're going to have that for you a little bit later on, and a good little appetizer run-up to Sports Rage. Gabe Morency. They're going to follow this show 10 o'clock Eastern time, so about 35 minutes from now. And again, Rockies Angels coming your way in about 10 minutes if you still want to get a wager in on that. Cardinals Cubs 1-1 game, top 6 still. Braves got out of that jam. It's top 8, 4-2. Atlanta leading at home right now against the Marlins. And we have another final. Cleveland has won 10-3 to finish off the Orioles. But award season, Dave, is not that far away in Major League Baseball. We're in the vicinity of 50 or so games left in the regular season. Then, of course, you have the month or so long playoff run as well, which is always exciting, and that's what people are really scoreboard watching and standings watching right now, counting down to all of that. But it's also a good time to invest if you see an opportunity that you really like. Let's get into the Cy Young market here in Major League Baseball just a little bit, and we'll throw you some of the odds that we have been looking at and thinking about as well. And you can see if there's something logical to invest in. So Chris Sale, of course, having one of his great seasons after he couldn't stay healthy in Boston. First opportunity with Atlanta, minus 115 favorite to win this thing. Paul Skeens, who only came up partway through the year and is a phenom, as we know, starts the All-Star game, all of that. Plus 200. Then you have Zach Wheeler, who's having a hell of a year at plus 290. And then obviously there's the drop-off headlined by Dylan Cease, who has been on a roll of late as well. Had that nice win over the Dodgers yesterday, the no-hitter before that. But it would seem like right now it's a three-man competition, obviously at the top of the board there with Sale, Skeens, and Wheeler. So which way are you going with this one? Do you see value in any of these numbers?
Well, the value's gone from the Skeens because it was 200-1 3 months ago, and now it's 2-1. I don't remember ever seeing anything like this. The amount of movement to actually get into position to win. Now, I'm from Pittsburgh originally. I'm a huge Pirates fan. This would be just an unbelievable story, but I would trade a win for a playoff spot. The Braves are going to be in the playoffs. The Phillies are going to be in the playoffs. And that helps this market when the guy leads them to the playoff spot. I don't know. Skeens has to be so overwhelmingly stat dominant to win it unless somebody wants to just write the story and like, hey, Paul Skeens, you can't deny him the Cy Young. The dark horse in this is like, listen, I'm not advocating an absolute play on it, but San Diego's coming, and the Padres are charging, and Dylan Cease is leading the way. It might not behoove you to put a little 23-1 in your pocket and go, okay, because they can catch the Dodgers and win that division, so they can win it. The American League, though, I mean, you want to talk about it as a 3-horse race with maybe a fourth one coming on late. The American League Cy Young is really it's two guys. It's Skubal or Burns. And for me, I think trying to handicap the voters at him, it's Burns. And he's still plus money. Agree? Or is it? I mean, Skubal's having a tremendous year. I would be okay with him winning it. I just don't think he's going to.
So I do agree, and here's why. And you tell me if I'm off base with this. But let's remember, this is there are no computers. As much as we joke about analytics and computers and nerds and all of that in baseball, when it comes to this, these are the voters. These are people like, you and me with different credentials who have their opinions, have their biases. Right. And I look at this and I just say, all right, they're both having incredible years, but who's it actually made a difference for? The Baltimore Orioles, who are leading the American League East and should win that division as far as I'm concerned. And I felt that way even when the Yankees were in front. Or Tarik Skubal, whose Tigers suck. who's ultimately the difference maker here? And that's not a knock on Scooball. It's a very individual sport. That's the way baseball works. You know, if that weren't the case, Mike Trout would have actually won something in his career. Oh, by the way, he's out for the rest of the year. So how is it not Corbin Burnes if you are leading this team potentially to an AL pennant or beyond?
I think that's it. I think that's the decider factor for me. And I think that might be the decider factor for people that are actually voting. These things look easier than they are to win bets.
Sometimes you just don't want to overthink these things, folks.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Here with Dave Sharapan, Adam Kaufman. Thanks for watching. If you are finding us on Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM channel 159, or watching, we greatly appreciate it. No matter what, just thanks for consuming the content. Sharapan and I actually going to be back together in the same time slot tomorrow as well. So get ready. If you like the tandem, we're back at, you know what it is? Dave just, he loves working with New England guys. You know, if it's not me, it's Matt Peralt. Bostonian versus the book. You're just, I mean, we're talkers is what we are.
Yeah, it's good. At least you're not talking about the Patriots. And I guess maybe we can address that tomorrow at some point. There's really nothing to talk about, which is kind of nice because for like 2 decades, it was nothing but Patriots talk. But I got to ask you while I have you, and you brought it up, are you going to watch this show that's going to be on? I mean, the guy, Belichick, is done coaching. He's didn't have much to say for 20 years. His press conferences were award-winning in the risk room. Like, we used to love to watch him in the book because he didn't say anything. And now he's going to be on all these shows doing behind-the-scenes stuff. Are you a Belichick guy? Are you going to consume this stuff?
Oh, Bill Belichick has full-on whored himself out to the media, to every buyer. I mean, he is going to be doing the multiple appearances, at least one per week with Pat McAfee. He's going to do the alternate, Manning cast. He's got this new deal with Underdog that he just released and whatever else that I'm not even thinking of, honestly. I mean, he is doing all of it. And to answer your question, though, I mean, will I be able to consume all of it? Of course not. Like, I'd like to sit and watch, Tom Brady doing color commentary on Fox for all of his games too. But, I'll probably check out a couple. And then after that, whenever I'm around, because these are two people that, one, are so incredibly knowledgeable of the sport of football. I mean, they, as the saying, as the cliche goes, right? Like they've forgotten more than I will ever know, both of them individually in their own way. But I also, I think that some, maybe you are in this category, I think some are sort of overlooking or disregarding the fact that they can both be incredibly charming and forthcoming when they want to be. Brady obviously wasn't as buttoned up as Belichick during his playing career, but he could be. He didn't always speak his mind. Now, obviously, as a retired player, always sort of leaving that door slightly ajar despite his ownership stake in the Raiders, is someone that he can break down film and analytic, like what he's seeing on the field in real time better than anybody else. All due respect to the aura around Tony Romo when he first got into the booth. As far as Belichick goes, people just think he's this curmudgeon and doesn't, he's arrogant and doesn't want to say anything and he's miserable all the time. I would challenge any of you, never mind what he's done since he obviously wasn't able to land a coaching job for this year and the various media tours like he was doing during the NFL draft with McAfee and his crew and all of that stuff. Go back and check out some clips of when the NFL 100 was being produced and all of the stuff that he did with Rich Eisen and Chris Collinsworth and so many others. Bill Belichick.
It was good.
The storyteller, how insane. He won an Emmy.
Good.
Does people know that? Bill Belichick won an Emmy for his commentating. So yeah, while the press conferences were electric in their own way, and I love them as well as someone who wasn't, there every single day trying to pull something out of him. This guy is, I think he is going to be, and Brady as well, so incredibly good at this job because he'll want to be. And, whether it's partially sort of PR and avoiding some of the, crap that's come out from Kraft and everything since his firing and trying to push his way back into another NFL opportunity when the market just wasn't there for him this past offseason. Or maybe he just wants to, be the next like Bill Cowher and Jimmy Johnson and all these guys that he does this for the rest of his life. I have no idea what direction it's going to go, but I think he is going to be exceptional.
Coach. Do you think he wants a coach again?
I do. I think he still wants Shula's record. I think he still wants Shula's record. Yeah.
Okay. See, because I see him in the way he's embracing it. And you're right. Like, as much as you may have hated him or as much as money as you may have lost trying to bet against them and all that other stuff, it's pretty good. Like, I mean, the roast was good. I enjoyed it. And I've seen that, those videos you're talking about. I just think that, like, at this point, he didn't get the job. And maybe next year it will come back up like, hey, who's the candidate for this job? Oh, we got to talk to Belichick, sure. Bring him in for an interview. I don't know. It's way more fun. It's way less film study. I don't know. Like, I think once he gets a taste of this is going to work out okay. And it's going to allow him enough time to spend, with his girlfriend and stuff like that.
Oh, I mean, listen, this guy you're right. He's about to see, if he hasn't already, as a football lifer who, I mean, truly, like 50 plus years, in the NFL, he is about to see that for some, not maybe for me or you, but for him, for someone like him with all this institutional knowledge and just understanding every aspect of football other than, PSI, he had to look up how all that worked back, ideal gas law and all that stuff. Bill Belichick is, I mean, what a walk in the park that this guy, I mean, this is the cushiest job anybody could possibly have if you are someone like him. He's got all of this time He doesn't have to break down film and all these late office hours in the same way that he used to. He can chill out at home, let his 22-year-old girlfriend kick up her feet, and they can put a game on and check stuff out. He can hang out with his grandkids, some of whom are probably older than his girlfriend, and just have the time of his life. He is the poster child for what retirement should look like, man. This is hashtag goals like you read about if you're Bill Belichick right now.
And when you look like at the AFC East odds, or you look at the season wins for the Patriots, you go, you know what? This media thing is pretty nice. Like, I don't have to figure out if Drake May's going to work or not. I don't have to. I don't have to game plan for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. I get to have these nice videos done, and we're talking. It's not going to be a bad gig. It really isn't. And I think getting out when he did, you know, we joked about it, but are the Patriots the worst team in the league? Like, seriously?
No.
I mean,
no.
They're not going to be?
No. That's still the Panthers. Maybe there are a couple others in the conversation. Listen, I'm not convinced. And I don't say this with like Patriots bias either. I say this genuinely looking at the team, looking at the schedule. And they're not a playoff team. That's not where I'm going with this. But this is a team that, I mean, the over-under is 4.5, man. They can win 5 games. They could win 6 games. Now, I wouldn't go any higher than that. But if I'm placing a bet on the total, which I have not, I would go over 4.5. I think there is still some good young talent there that Gerard Mayo is going to have at his disposal. But I think the quarterback situation, not in terms of what it looks like, we know what it looks like, but in terms of what it actually looks like on the field, how it's executed, there are a lot of questions there. Jacoby Brissett is the guy. He is going to be your week 1 starter and beyond. You know, they've been very open about that Drake May is not ready yet, and Brissett was brought in for just this reason. But 1, can he stay healthy? And 2, just what is he going to look like? I mean, he's a journeyman, you know, started obviously in New England. He's, I think, as far as backup quarterbacks go, you could do a lot worse, but he's not the backup. He's the starter, and he's got very little to work with in terms of the offense. The thing is, much like the last couple of years, the defense is good enough, at least if Matt Judon and they work out this situation and he's on the field, you know, the defense is going to keep them in some low-scoring games. There are going to be a lot, like bet the under, figure some close games, and I think the Patriots can win 5 or 6.
We'll see.
They're not the worst. That's...
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, you know, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. John Rahm.
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, you know, missing a putt for that happening for me.
the Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
We're back, about 15 more minutes of in-game live prime time. After us, Sports Rage, Gabe Morency, and he won't be alone, and neither are we right now. And the common denominator is, wait, let me say that word again. I can say Daria Gumbawali, but I can't say denominator. The common denominator is none other than Cam Stewart, my weekend partner throughout football season last year, a delight. And I love that I don't have to say another word the rest of the segment. I can just say, Cam, what do you think? And it doesn't even matter. It could be about sports, could be about food, Cam, what do you think? Go.
I don't know, Kaufman. You could usually you're pretty smooth with the hooked on phonics. See, that's the thing. People look at your bookcase and they assume you went to Harvard. I know different. Anyway, your little Patriots chat in the break made me sick. I think me and Dave got barf bags. Don't worry, they suck. Next topic. Let's do in-game live. Hey, Dave, I got something for you. Cheap. What's that? The Cardinal taking a piece out of the Cub. He's right. Attacking the bear in the forest. We got them live, but that's you can't really help people now. But I got them when they're down 2-1. Football, Canadian Football League. It's 3-0 at the half. Are you kidding me? Winnipeg Blue Bombers and BC Lions under 35.5 live. And this game, guys, I don't know. They just keep on scoring and scoring. Are we taking a live over between the Texans and Bears? First team to 28? I can't believe. I've never seen a Hall of Fame game with this much scoring. It's nuts.
I know. Tell me about it. Before we get too deep into the football, I wanted to ask you about the golf because you came on yesterday and you had all these golf plays and all these things. What did you see from the first round of the golf, and what can people expect the rest of the way now that you've seen the first day and you've seen the scores and we're at this point? What are you looking at for the weekend?
Well, Dave, what can we say about Xander Schauffele? And I'll give Gabe all the credit in the world. A lot of people, like great cappers like Brady, were like, he's done tours, he's doing like interviews, he's won 2 majors out of the 4. This guy used to be snake bit. The guy's in second place. He shot a 6 under today. Like, it's just, he's one of these guys. And I said this, Dave, on the show, he is the next Scotty Scheffler. Like, if you want to make a bet, Scheffler's career moving forward and Xander right now, I'll take Xander Schauffele. I will, because I think I look at Scheffler and his foot movement and stuff and the way he does stuff. When you get older, that's going to be hard to maintain. That little shuffle foot thing that he does, it's not as easy. Golf's tough, and over a while, it's going to hurt. Xander Schauffele does the same thing over and over and over again. Plus, they talk about Scheffler's demeanor. What about Schauffele? He never gets rattled. That guy is the same if you punch him in the face, if he's having a drink of Dom, whatever, hanging out with Cantlay and the wives on the beach in Acapulco. It doesn't matter what this guy, he is the same man. Like Kaufman, you know what you're going to get. Not too high, actually, Kaufman, when you have too many bets on Saturday, I see you get a little bit rattled. But other than that, I'm right with you because combined, we have 120 bets, and we're just absolute stooges during college football season.
I'll take the over.
Yeah, I'll take the over as well. But I'm going to make that bet right now, kind of like Dave. I'm going to tell you, Xander Schauffele, once you get to that level in golf, and it's a really interesting. I used to work at a golf club, and I talked to a lot of guys, Canadian Tour guys, other guys, and once you get breakthrough wins with his demeanor, the sky's the limit, because now he just doesn't have to, worry about gagging in the 4th round or whatever. It's coming naturally to him. Be very careful. His odds suck, but I would not be shocked if he actually went back-to-back for the gold medal. A guy that I really like, Dave, that I took, Tom Kim, I think he's very dangerous today. He switched to a mallet putter. That number at 18-1, are you kidding me? He's 5 under. He's 3 shots back. I don't want to be a jerk. Hideki, I don't think he can hold on. I think he's one of those guys that's going to go low, and he can go wire to wire. Hell, he's a Masters winner. But when I'm looking at the board right now, if you're looking for a little bit of value, Can you guys flash that back up for me? I got Tom Kim at 18, and I'm thinking, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Gary Graphic. Joaquim Neiman, very dangerous at 12-1.
Ooh.
You know me and my Swedes, Dave. I like the Swedish meatball. Watch out. Aberg might be back at 22-1. This guy can go low. He missed a lot of putts today. Watch out. Norton's playing great golf, too. Inside the top 5. He was a very trendy pick in the golf community for good reason. Played great on this course, won at this course before when he was on the European Tour. The golf is great. The Olympics have been great. Hey, Dave, we cashed another medal today. Canada's sensation, Summer McIntosh, 17-year-old swimmer, another gold in the 200-meter backstroke. Ooh. So Peter Morency collecting parlays and loonies. Maybe one day we'll come back. Dave, I can't afford New York, so it'll probably be Vegas for the next trip. We'll talk.
Yes.
Yeah. I got to see Blessing's wife. I miss her very much in the family. There's so many things I need to do down there, but it's tough. You know what I mean? With family commitments here. But I'll tell you, man, when we go down there, Dave, I know the way you are. You're basically the unofficial mayor of Vegas, and everybody you take around, dude, we're going to play so many horses. I'm going to make you it's like me on the show.
Oh, man, we'll get you the spot. I can't wait.
Island. We're gonna meet all Blessing's old buddies and just go nuts. Because you know what they do? Perfect. They treat the horse players with respect. I don't have to be, hey, sir, can I have a $500 drink and get a $500 bet and get one drink ticket? Man, you hang out with those seniors, they give you stacks. That's a secret. You want a secret at the casino? Hang with horse players. They get more.
True.
Just a trip. Just a tip.
Shoot, I want in on that trip.
When do we go to Vegas? I'm dead, Dave.
I hang out with you guys.
It's a scene. It's a scene.
It is.
I can only imagine. Cam, we got you a few more minutes here, and before we let you go, let's stay with the Olympics. Something you're going to be talking about quite a bit with Gabe, I'm sure. Obviously, nothing really going on right now, but we're only hours away from a full ramp up of day-long coverage again. And knowing you as I do, you're out there, you're betting handball and archery and water polo and volleyball and everything else. What are you invested in for tomorrow?
Invested in actually, like most of my stuff, I've already cashed with the New Zealand women rugby sevens. That's something I'm not doing as much as Gabe. I bet a Canadian power walker today. He finished 6th. He was projected to be 12th. Nice kid, ginger too. But for basketball, what are we going to do tomorrow? I'm going to take the USA. They didn't cover against South Sudan. And actually, I like France +4 in a game against Germany. I think they have their coming out party with Wembanyama. Canada, that's too high of a spread against Spain. I think they win. That's good for money line parlays. A little bit high at -500, but we can do something with it. Give me France +4 on the money line. That's the way we're rocking in basketball right now. Yeah, power walking. Very exciting today. This Ecuadorian came out of nowhere. Yeah. Touchdown Bears.
The Bears scored a touchdown.
I don't want to talk about them right now. We'll talk about them later. Those jerks. Come on, Texans.
The Bears?
I need you. My wallet needs you. I got you in a.
The world's like, the Bears aren't playing anybody. That's why you bet them.
The last piece of a parlay, the Texans. Come on.
Come on, Kaufman.
Oh, God.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed to tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, we are back. Just a few more minutes here in game live prime time. So as you heard, the Bears with a touchdown to open the second half. They are up 21-17 on the Texans. Long way to go in this game, obviously. 11.5 still to go in the third quarter. Texans ball. Hopefully we get an answer from Houston, those of us on the Texans side. I do want to mention Sharapan in the spirit of celebrating wins. I did just hit my FanDuel MLB no sweat bet, which I do not hit all the time, so I'm rejoicing in this right now. And I wanted to read you because I had a hell of a time putting this thing together. I did so with honestly with very little confidence, just because we only had a 5-game slate to work with, and there wasn't a lot that I loved. So I had to get creative. I had to get a little weird, quite frankly, with this one. And a couple of these spots were super sweaty. As ridiculous as they may sound, they were super sweaty. And so here's what this looked like. And it was a plus, like, I don't know, 450, 500, something like that.
Okay.
Sonny Gray, 4+ strikeouts. He wound up with 9. Obviously, that was not sweaty. This one was Cardinals Cubs. This game is still going on right now. I had the under 1.5 first inning runs. I told you I liked the Nerfy, but I didn't fully invest in it. I went under 1.5. It was a solo home run. So I escaped that jam. We cashed that one. Royals on the money line. Should have gotten greedy with the run line, but obviously 7-1 win. Braves, as we know, they won 4-2. I had the Braves run line, so we needed that.
Okay.
And then the other, this one, I thought it was going to be dead in the water the way it was going after 3 innings. I had, and this is an alt number that I did, and thank goodness I did, under 8.5 first 5 between the Orioles and Guardians, a game that ended 10-3. In the first 5, it was 5-2 Cleveland. So there were 7 runs in the first 5. I had under 8.5. So we cashed the no sweat bet. Thank God. I needed that, especially if the Texans screw me here tonight.
That was pretty good. And that did get a little sweaty. I mean, you had a couple no-brainers, which is good. I like sometimes, like some people will see the short slate and go, oh, man, I don't want to do this. I think you can attack a short slate. Like sometimes there's ways to look at things through different lenses and different glasses.
Yep.
Shorter slate, find more places to kind of make plays. I like it. I saw it last night, and we did BVB today, and Matt was like, "Oh, there's only 5 games." I'm like, I like that. Play Cleveland. I mean, that was a very good price. How many times you get the team with the best home record in baseball in the American League at a pick-em price at home? It doesn't happen that often. So opportunities there. Wow, the Bears are getting momentum. A sack.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
I know. I'm just saying. This is at least you cashed that parlay, because what looked like wasn't going to be much of a sweat is going to be the first football game sweat of the year for you with this Texas money line. This is not going to be easy. You're invested.
Bears are not going away. That's for sure. No, yeah, I'm very invested. I mean, it would be very fitting to begin the football season with a loss. That would be pretty apropos to, how much of last year went for me. But no, let's start on the right foot. I don't care if it's sweaty. I don't care if Houston wins on the final possession of the game. Let's just get the money line win, Texans. That's what it's all about. But this is a fun one. Obviously, a lot of great stuff on this show. We had Eric Lindquist on for a while. Cam Stewart most recently. He's going to be coming up on Sports Rage next with Gabe Morency, Jack, everybody behind the scenes, doing a hell of a job putting this show together. And like I said, Dave, we're going to be right back together again tomorrow, 8 to 10 Eastern, doing a lot of the same. A much bigger board, obviously, when it comes to Major League Baseball, so that'll be fun on a Friday. We'll have some Olympic basketball and other Olympic action to look at, see where we stand in the golf. Hopefully Scotty Scheffler, for the sake of making it interesting, climbs up the board a little bit. And, whatever else the sports world throws at us, my friend, there's bound to be another football injury tomorrow after the Herbert news and DeAndre Hopkins going to miss some time too. Look, they're always there. It's training camp. Guys get hurt. It is what it is.
It's true. We'll have Red Sox are playing the Rangers tomorrow, so we'll have our little slant with the Red Sox. The Pirates are playing the Diamondbacks. Dare I say that might be? I mean, that's a playoff preview. So we'll have early baseball, late baseball, Olympics. We might even touch some college football if you want to dive into it. I'm up for anything.
Ooh, it's coming. Week 0 is right around the corner. It's August, man. It's August. Football's back. Enjoy Sports Rage. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night.